Hi, and welcome to the Wolfstone Cutting Guide. Now that you have received your worktops and prior to the cutting procedure, make sure you have removed the protective plastic film from the worktop as shown in our Getting Started video guide, for this will prevent any hindrance of tooling travelling while cutting. For the Wolfstone cutting process to follow, you will need a circular saw, router, tape measure, worktop clamps, straight edge and the necessary personal safety equipment such as dust masks, safety glasses and ear protection. At this point, double check that you have all the required equipment needed and that your cutting blades and tools are sharp and clean for the process. Also, before cutting, it is a good idea to do a final check of your predetermined worktop layout and measurements for 100% accuracy and peace of mind. Always add at least 2 to 3 mm onto the length to provide enough material for the required router trim after cutting. Okay, so let's prepare for the cutting process. First, position your straight edge on the surface of the worktop and measure both the front and back, repeatedly adjusting the clamped straight edge so that the two measurements are the same. Once the guide has been positioned correctly, it can be clamped securely into place on the worktop. You are now ready to start cutting. However, be sure to double check your measurements once more before cutting, to ensure that the guide did not move during the clamping process. When starting your cut, ensure that the blade is at full speed before it makes contact with the worktop. Remember to cut at a slow, yet constant and steady pace, and let the blade do the cutting. Here you can see the result of that slow, constant and steady cut. While the cut is straight and relatively clean, this finish would not yet be adequate for a visible or exposed edge or for jointing to another worktop section, as the saw blade has left visible scoring marks and this must first be removed with a router trim. For the router trim, simply set the depth of the cut at 1 to 2 mm depending on the additional length added for this purpose earlier on. Always move the router against the rotation of the bit, for this will allow the bit to cut into the work surface, giving you full control over the tool and preventing any tool runaway. Just as in the cutting procedure, make sure your blade is at full speed before making contact with the surface and trim at a slow, constant and steady pace. Now your exposed edge is ready for either seamless joining to another worktop section or to be finished in the prescribed manner as shown in our Wolfstone surface finishing guide for exposed or visible edges that might require a smooth and velvet finish. For the complete Wolfstone installation guide, please visit www.wolfstone.za.com.